Hi, I'm Daisha. I'm an independent energy advisor, and today I just wanted to address some concerns and answer some questions that we receive a lot of inquiries about the confusion around solar, why some people love it, why some others not so much, right? First, I do want to say solar is not a good fit for everyone, regardless of what any person knocking on your door may say. It's not a good fit for everyone. Okay. And one of the things that makes it not a good fit for everyone is, of course, sun exposure on the roof. If you have a lot of trees covering your roof, that means the sun is not going to be able to hit the panels in the way that it should be able to hit it, which means the panels are not going to be very effective for your home. Okay. Now, of course, someone getting solar installed on their home when their home is not a good fit for solar does great for the sales rep because they're still going to make their money for getting you to get solar, right? And that's the reason why it's important to be educated on how solar actually works to know if it's a good fit for your home or not. All right. So if it's a shady roof, then the person is trying to get you solar, it's a shady person too. Don't go with them. All right. Another reason why solar may not be a good fit for your home is if your roof space isn't big enough to support enough panels to offset the energy the dirty energy that you're using. So right now, if you don't have solar, then your home is consuming non-renewable energy. Now, the difference between non-renewable energy and renewable energy is non-renewable energy is something that cannot easily be reproduced. Once it's used, it's used. It's not something that can just continuously generate on its own. So when we're talking fossil fuel energy consumption, thinking about the word fossil, meaning it's ancient, right? So it's using a lot of dead things, things that had to mature over millions of years a lot of the times, right? So if we don't have these things, that we don't have the time for these things to be able to mature, to be able to be utilized in our energy to power our homes. Okay. So that's the reason why it's not as effective anymore. So the supply that we used to have ages ago, we don't have that kind of supply anymore, and it's not able to generate itself. Whereas with renewable energy, things that are coming from the sun or the wind, things that are constant, you don't have to wait for it to mature and to be able to use it, right? So the sun is always shining, right? In places where it's not always shining, in cold areas, like, then it's most of the time it's pretty windy. So you can have like some of the windmills out there. So that way that can, you know, um, generate some kind of electricity with the infrastructure that they have for that particular type of renewable energy. So because the sun shines and it's constant and it's a big ball of energy, and it's not something that you have to continue to um, reproduce. It's just there, right? It's just giving off free energy. Now, what the solar panels, what they do, the solar panels, the photovoltaic panels, what they do is they harness that energy from the sun, and they take that direct energy that's hitting those panels, the direct energy current, and they convert it into an alternate current. So that way it can actually be used within your home. Okay. So it doesn't require as much. All right. So that's the difference between the two. And when we're talking about cost, so anytime there is a limited supply of anything in the market, right? There isn't enough supply to satisfy the demand. Anytime that happens, the cost of whatever the goods are going to increase, right? Dramatically. Why? Because there's not enough to go around. Now, you may be thinking, well, of course, there's enough energy. We have oil, we have all of this. Yes, maybe for right now. However, what our legislators, what our politicians, what everybody else has to think about is not just right now. It's about making sure we have things in place for the future, 50 to 100 years from now. And we only have enough resources for like 50 to 75 years from now. So your children and your children's children will not be able to have electricity the way that we have electricity right now, which is why we're paying so much for it right now, which is why there has been such a big push for renewable energy, because we have to do something now to change the trajectory of what's going to happen with energy for the future. So I hope that makes sense. Now, when we're talking about the cost of renewable energy, now when you're thinking about solar, sometimes if you just go and think, okay, I'm just going to go buy solar panels, of course, they're going to be very expensive. Very expensive. It's going to look like it's very expensive, right? If you're thinking $50,000, $80,000, yeah, that sounds very expensive. However, when you compare it to what it is that you're actually already paying right now, you're actually going to come out less when you have solar if your home is qualified and eligible to get solar, like the roof shading, the space, that kind of offset as we said earlier. Now, let's take a look at how much you can expect your bills to increase by. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen, and so that way you can see what it is that I'm talking about here. So let's just take a look at, we'll take a look at screen 2. All right. So hopefully you can see my screen here. It's pretty big. All right. So if we take a look at just the United States, the national average right now. So starting from, let's just say 2020. So over the past 6 years, let's take a look at where it is. So this is only showing over like the 5-year mark though, which I'll show you what it looks like for 2026. The whole year hasn't been done for 2026, so it's not going to show it for annually, but I will show it like on a monthly. So annually right now, as you see, it's here at the basically 31 or 32%, basically, if you round it up, 32%. So if to find that average, we're looking at that over the last 5 years, we're talking, well, that's going to be basically like 30, right? So we're talking 6%. So it's been on an average a 6% increase over the past 5 years, not counting 2026. However, if we take a look at the monthly from 2020 to 2026, ooh, that's a lot. Let me take all of that off. These are looking at the different states and where they are. You see California has been just absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so let's just look at monthly, and we don't need it from 2020, 2001. Let's go a little bit higher. So looking at that for 2020, let's do, what is it, June or maybe March 2020, whichever one it lands on. We can go there. Let's go there. Okay, so now we're at 42%. So as you see, now we're at 7% average. Okay, if we're factoring in this year already. Okay. Now, 7% average, but I'm still going to keep it conservative at the 6% just for now. But let's just take a look at if we applied that to your average electric bill. Now, the average electric bill now, it used to be $155 on average. Now, the average is actually $262 on average for the average household, which I'm thinking about Florida though, right? So that's the average when it used to be 155 for Florida. So now if we just take a look at this, so let's just say, let's keep it conservative. We're going to keep it at 200. All right. So keeping it at $200 a month on average. And we're going to use that 6% annual average increase rate that the utility companies have been charging, just nationally. Of course, it's conservative. There have been certain states that are a lot higher. Like, let's just take a look real quick. Let's say if you're in California, as you see, it's a whole lot higher than the national average. You see that? Yeah. So we're keeping it very conservative. And when I show you this, whenever we're doing a consultation and we're looking at your home specifically, we're going to go by what your actual state's average is. Okay. So we're keeping it conservative at 6%. So let's just say your average utility bill is at $200 on average a month. Well, that's what you were paying last year because we know rate increases are coming again. It's about to be summer. You're going to get another rate increase. So that was what your average was for last year, was 200. So with this year's rate increase, that's going to go up to an average of $212 a month. Then next year it's going to go up to $225 on average a month. And so on and so forth. So 5 years, by year 5, you're paying $284. By year 10, you're paying about $380 on average for that particular year for year 10. However, what you would have paid on average over all the whole 10 years would have been $317 on average if you factor in the whole 10 years, right? By year 10, you would have already given the utility company over $40,000. That's if your bill was on average $200. Now, of course, if your bill is more than $200, which a lot of people's are, let's just say that was actually your average was actually $400. Now you see where your average was. And then by year 10, you would have given the utility company $80,000. $80,000 over the next 10 years. Okay. So that's why I say when you're factoring in the cost of solar compared to what you're already paying every month, because unless you plan on being in the dark, unless you plan on going like Amish or something and only using candles, you're going to pay your electric bill. Okay. So when you're factoring that in, solar is still paid monthly, unless you just decide to cash it out, which I mean, I wouldn't. I would utilize like the financing of it, whether that is by getting a loan or a lease. A lease is where you're not paying to own the panels. You're paying to lease the panels, and then you're just generating all that energy for free from the sun. But you're swapping out your bill. So you're not actually paying more of anything. You're still going to have a bill just like you have a bill right now. It's just that it's going to be less. Now you'll have 2 actual physical bills being mailed to you, right? One for the utility company because you'll still have to have it connected to the grid. So just like you're paying right now, you'll have a customer charge a month, like that's already on your bill. Just like right now, if you don't use a lot of energy, you'll still have that minimum payment that you would have to pay. So that's still going to stay the same, whether you have solar or not. So that's what you would be paying to the utility company, that connectivity charge, and then like the minimum use charge, right? Customer charge or whatever. But as far as your actual energy that's coming from your solar panels, that's what your solar payment would be. But it would be for the panels themselves, right? And the panels themselves, you'd have like a certain amount of panels just to offset the energy you were already getting from the utility company. Only this time, instead of the non-renewable energy, you're actually getting renewable energy. Okay. So looking at this, if we take a look at over the next 25 years, which is what we as we do give you, your solar payment would be for the next 25 years, as opposed to a lifetime payment with the utility company. Right now, after the 25 years, you're no longer paying that solar payment if you have like the loan, because your loan time is up, right? Or even if you have the lease, you can decide, okay, I'm just going to cash out the rest of it, or whatever you want to do after that with the lease. But when you're thinking about your utility company, there is no 25 after 25 years, you're not paying them anything. And that's whether you have solar or you don't. Because even when you're done with solar, if you're done with your solar payment, the utility company is still going to be charging that connectivity fee that they may go in the next 25 years with inflation, that may go from being $10 to $20. But who cares? Because if you're paying $20 as opposed to $1,820 a month, do you really care like about that? Right. So that's what this is doing. By year 25, you would have paid the utility company. If your average bill is $400, you would have paid the utility company over $300,000. So the question is, would you rather pay a monthly bill, let's just say you got your bill down to, if you were already paying an average of $400 a month to the utility company anyway, and then we know that $400 is constantly increasing every year, more and more, right? If you were able to get solar and it was able to stop at $200 a month, right? Let's just say we slashed your bill in half, you only pay $200 a month. Well, then it stays at $200 a month and does not go up ever again for your solar payment for the 25 years, as opposed to constantly going up with your utility company if you did not have solar. So hopefully that makes sense. That's how this works. It'd still be a monthly bill, except you'd pay $200 a month instead of $400 a month. Or let's say you were already paying $200 a month instead of $200 a month, you're paying $100 a month, right? But it stays there and it's not continuously getting higher and higher and higher. Okay. So I hope that clears up some things about how solar works. Of course, when it comes to the many AI data centers that are being built everywhere, that is consuming a lot of energy. Of course, a big push for these electric bills going up was a lot of the crypto that had came out. Also, the AI data centers. Everybody wants the editing on their phones and whatnot, but yeah, it's going to cost a lot of money. Okay. And then not even just that, the infrastructure of these utility companies being able to stay functional for years and years to come, the maintenance on them anytime there's a storm, and then they're having to pay storm recovery costs, or even them transitioning over to renewable energy themselves as well, they're actually making you all pay for it. And that's another thing for people who are like, oh, loans. You're technically already paying a loan to the utility company anyway. The utility company is going to get this money from their shareholders and whatnot. They are borrowing money as well. You're the one who's paying that money back, and you're paying. It's like you have a loan with the utility company anyway, but you're actually paying a variable rate on there. So you're paying more and more, as you see here. You're paying a whole lot more for that energy, for them to have solar farms and whatnot. Now, what I don't really care for when it comes to solar farms is because it is taking up a lot of the space and land space that could be used for farming and other things, as opposed to it could just be sitting on unused real estate, which is just sitting on top of your roof that nobody's looking at. Like, do you even know what color your roof is? Like, it's just sitting up there and it's generating you all this great energy that is not, so expensive, and it's not so dirty, and it's not like harming the environment with pollution and whatnot. So that's it in a nutshell. You just swap one high electric bill out for a lower payment that you can get to not go up on you. Now, of course, I do want to make this disclaimer, because a lot of people have it misconstrued when it comes to renewable energy. Yes, the sun is always beaming down, giving you all this extra energy in your solar panels. However, your solar panels are only equipped to handle so much energy at a time. It does send some of the energy to the utility grid, but that's the reason why you have to have a certain amount of panels to offset that energy. It's not going to just give you endless amount of energy to where you can just have the AC up, on as low as you can on 50 all the time because you just feel like your bill is cheap, right? No, it's not going to work like that. It's not going to just give you all this extra energy where you can just use it nonstop and not be conscious of the energy that you're using. It will drive your bill up even higher for the utility company. So your solar payment will still stay the same, but the excess energy that your panels are not really actually generating for you, that you're consuming, you're actually pulling that from the grid, because the panels are not harnessing that much energy for you. They're only designed per panel to harness a certain amount of energy at a time within every day. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can also book a consultation with me. I'm going to leave that link in the description, in the comments below. So that way you can, in the description box, I think I'm going to put this on YouTube. But that way you can go ahead, book a consultation. We can go over your bill together to see exactly what it is that you could expect to pay over the next 25 years for solar, as well as with the utility company. Take a look at the design. Also, when you get a site survey, which a site survey just includes a surveyor going out to the home to check the roof, the meter, the electric box, make sure everything is up to par, make sure your roof space is big enough to have solar onto your roof. So that way you can start getting that 20 to 50% discount on all of your future electric bills if you do switch over to renewable energy usage. Then I do give you your complimentary getaway in a destination of your choice. Now, the way these vouchers work, they are fulfilled by a company called Redeem Vacations, which is an incentive company that hundreds of hotels around the world use to help fill their otherwise unsold rooms, their vacant rooms. So in real estate, hotels are real estate. Any kind of vacancy is not good for business. So what these utility companies have done, let me see if I can stop sharing this actually. What these utility companies have done here, they have, partnered, I'm sorry, not the utility companies. What these hotels have done is they've partnered with Redeem Vacations, and the hotels realize, like, okay, if we have a empty room, not generating us any kind of income. We're still going to pay the lights for that room. We're still going to pay everything for this room, but it's not generating any kind of income. So what they figured out works best is it's better to have even a free complimentary guest staying in that room, the comp guest. I'm not sure if you go to hotels where they have casinos and, if you're spending money at the hotel, they give you a free room and they give you like all these discounts because they know if you're there, most likely you're going to spend a little more money with them, right? So even as a free guest, so if you are staying in one of these rooms, okay, they're not going to make the same $250 to $350 a night that they normally would had they sold that room. And of course, they do know how many rooms, certain times of the year, how many rooms they're probably going to sell and whatnot, because they keep track of this stuff. They know around Christmas, they don't need to, give any complimentary rooms because it's a busy time for them. So they don't have to do that. However, other times of the year, like May 31st, they're not going to have a lot of people at the hotel. So they're going to have a lot of empty rooms. That's not going to make them any money. So they'd rather have somebody in that particular room because chances are, for one, you saved all this money. You saved $250, $350 a night. That could range anywhere from $750 to $1,850 a night, depending on which location, whether it's Hawaii or Las Vegas or Orlando, whichever. You're not paying that money for that, right? All you're paying is the taxes and a booking fee. Oh, and a resort fee, because everybody has resort fees now, right? But you're not paying that nightly rate. However, if you have all this extra money that you didn't have to spend on the nightly rate, now you're probably going to order room service. You're probably going to shop at the gift shop. You'll probably use some of the amenities, which is like the resort fee usually covers that anyway. You'll probably use their casino. You'll probably shop at their gift shop. So that's a way for them to still generate some money off of somebody being in that room, as opposed to nobody being there. And now they're not making any money from the room service and all that stuff either, right? So that's the reason why they do this, because it actually most likely will make them more money. And even if you didn't do any of that, even if you just sat in a room, you didn't order room service, you didn't give them anything, right? 9 times out of 10, they're hoping that you enjoy your experience enough that you're going to tell somebody about your experience and maybe come back in the future as a paying guest. Okay. So word of mouth advertisement. So it still works out for them. They don't lose anything. Okay. So I hope that makes a lot of sense. And yes, I am partnered with them. So that way I am able to give this out as an incentive. So all you do is you submit a recent electric bill for your home. You must be a homeowner on title. You submit a recent electric bill. What the electric bill allows me to do, it allows me to find your average annual kilowatt hour usage. Okay. We would need that amount to see what that usage is so that we know how many panels your home would need to have to offset that non-renewable energy with renewable energy instead. Anytime that you're getting these proposals done and you don't even give a utility bill, somebody is guessing. And when somebody is guessing how much energy you're using, that's how you can end up paying way too much to the utility company because you don't have enough energy offsetting it. Okay. So yes, make sure you provide an electric bill. So I'm going to take a look at that annual average kilowatt hour usage to make sure we can offset both the usage and its cost with renewable energy instead. So that way we can generate a proposal. You'll be able to see the design, see if you're happy with the way the design looks. And then after that, if you're happy with the amount that you'll be saving, if you're happy with your 20 to 50% discount on all future electric bills, ready to move forward, we go get the site survey. The site survey, they just let us know like, hey, this house, everything that person said about the house is true, you know. They did get a meter installed. They don't have the outdated meter, or their roof is suitable for solar. They don't have too many trees shaded. So they're just checking everything to make sure it's actually a good fit for solar to move forward with the project. Once that's done, you get your complimentary getaway voucher so that you can go enjoy yourself out at Vegas or Hawaii or New Orleans or whichever. So I hope that cleared everything up. All the details will be in the description box below or in the comments, depending on where it is that you're looking at this. And yeah, thank you for hearing me out. Take care and bye for now.
We booked our vacation through Redeem Vacation. We saved hundreds of dollars. We've had so much fun.
This has been an incredible vacation. Look at behind me, this beautiful beach. We've had delicious food every meal. This vacation has far exceeded our expectations. I give it a 5-star.
We have really enjoyed our stay at the Hilton Garden Inn here in Orange Beach, and thanks to Redeem Vacations, we were able to save about $400 just to come here. We've really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, Redeem Vacations. Give them a go. The hotel staff have treated us wonderfully. A++.
3-night stay. I didn't pay anything. This was a perfect vacation in Florida. We got to go to Disney. We got to go to Universal Studios. Amazing. Redeem Vacations 5-star review. I completely love it. The staff is great. The hotels are great, especially when you're not paying anything. 100% will do it again. I love this company.
This place would have been around $2,200 a night, and we got 7 nights here for less than $400. It was impossible. It was incredible. Everything about it has been perfect.
We're actually here because we won an awesome, totally free 3-night vacation through a friend of ours who was doing a drawing, and he utilized Redeem Vacations to do that drawing. So we are here for 3 nights totally free, almost $500 worth. I know they go through a really strenuous process to figure out which hotels they're gonna allow to use these vacations with, and this has been a great stay so far. We're out here by the pool right now. So we just wanted to get on here and give a big shout out to Redeem Vacations for the fantastic free 3-night vacation.
If you're going on vacation, book through Redeem Vacations.